And you. Okay. Oh yeah, we're live. Hello
Yeah.
everybody. Hello everybody and welcome to our webinar, to our the workshop. I would say it's not just a webinar, it's a workshop with Johnny Walker from Yelp. And this is our second meeting already. During the first one we got a lot of questions, and so the participants, they were really engaged, and we actually received a lot of information from Johnny that time, which even not everybody was thinking that this kind of information is shareable and exists. So once again, welcome everybody. My name is Daniel. I'm from NetRocket, and let's start with a short introduction. I will make a short introduction of NetRocket, what we do there, and then also introduce Johnny, and yeah, and just a couple words about the housekeeping, how we will move forward with this webinar today. So overall, we have 1 hour. So our plan is to stick with the presentation from Johnny, sharing the slides and sharing the information about how actually you can get more leads with Yelp for your HVAC business in 2026. This is the main topic, and how can you how can you grow actually with the help of Yelp? And if even if you're already active on Yelp, or if you don't use it at all, this will be definitely for you. If you do marketing, if you're an owner of HVAC business, this is for you. This webinar is for those guys who does HVAC business and who really want to be successful. Just a short introduction. What we do at NetRocket, we build this kind of ecosystem, starting from marketing. We have a marketing agency. We have marketing HVAC marketing school. This kind of meeting is the part of our marketing educational efforts. We try to give away as much expertise as possible to the community, to share everything what we know about growing your business, about building your marketing system inside your company, in order to help contractors, HVAC contractors, to build an 8-figure brands within their businesses and grow further. And today our special guest is Johnny Walker, and he will share all the information he knows, and we have to share about the how you can actually get more calls and more leads with the Yelp for your HVAC business. And Johnny is a partner account director and very experienced in all the numbers and analytics and everything what's going on the backstage. So those numbers which we don't see, which you don't see, which only he knows and he can analyze and share with us. So that's so cool that you joining us today online. And for those of you guys who are watching this online, you also like it that you got here. And if you have any questions, I want you to interact actively. So drop the questions in the comments, and we will get back to your questions. I mean, we will answer them. And yeah, overall, Johnny has a lot of experience. I don't know how many years, Johnny. 20 years in this marketing stuff and business development. You started from Yellow Pages. This is
Yeah.
the for those who remembers that. Yeah, that. And Johnny has very much experience, a lot of experience in digital marketing and digital everything, digital lead generation. Johnny, couple words from yourself about your background. Yeah, share what what is your background, what experience you have, and then let's jump into the workshop, into the webinar.
Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. So, yeah, like I said, I've been overall working with HVAC owners, home services owners for 20 years. And five of them, just finished my 5-year anniversary here at Yelp, but plenty of experience ahead of that. Like you mentioned, I started with Yellow Pages, right? I wasn't even using Yellow Pages myself at that moment. However, very quickly I learned how important it was if you own an HVAC company to be at the very front, right? The front of that book, because very much like Yelp, and this is how these things really kind of fit together. No one ever picked up a Yellow Page to do some light reading. That wasn't happening, right? They were going to that book to find an HVAC company that they could call and take care of their AC needs, heating needs, whatever they needed. That's what they were doing. And really, this is translated perfectly over to from a digital standpoint now. So, yes, absolutely experience working from search engine standpoint, social media standpoint, all those items. But today, I'm being able to take all that information and drill it down to just the Yelp platform. I know for certain we're going to be able to help you book more jobs out of Yelp this year, especially if you're working with NetRocket. So there's my little bit on me, but I do want to brag on NetRocket a little bit here. Is because with you working with them, with when you hired them to come on board and manage things for you, um, Daniel mentioned we had a previous workshop back in December. Well, since then, NetRocket has moved up in the Yelp stratosphere here. They're premier partners now at Yelp. And because, and you'll see here today, we're going to show you some case studies of an actual customer of what they've been doing. Because what you're going to get if you've run your own Yelp campaign before, maybe you're doing it now, um, the results you received are not indicative of what you could get. At NetRocket, they are the ultimate professionals. I've been working with Daniel and his team since last June, and I can tell you, I've been like blown away of how responsive they are, how into the details they get. Right? He mentioned I like to kind of get into the numbers, but they're right there with me. So it's awesome to be able to have conversations and discuss strategy to help your business get better results from that management. They have access to special products and different reporting, as well as like we've been talking about. I'm here to support them, and they support you. So you have a whole team of people working for your success. And along with that, super cool. We'll be offering some of this today to you, some exclusive discounts and promotions by you using going through NetRocket to manage your leads coming through your business. So super quick here. Let's touch on Yelp. If you haven't used Yelp before, why should you use Yelp? Well, two things. One, the Yelp user demographic. These are your perfect people, right? 74% are over 35 years old. These are not teenagers, right? They're not going out there scrolling to watch videos and be entertained. They're coming. These are people that own homes. As a matter of fact, over half of them have a household income of over $100,000. The U.S. average is only 34%. So the Yelp user is much more. They have the dollars in the house to get installs, to get repairs done, and also homeowners know homeowners, right? So they're able to kind of network on your behalf with maybe their neighbors. So those are all great reasons of why to use Yelp. But I will tell you, and Daniel, you know this to be true. One of the struggles for HVAC owners is they don't really understand completely the process, right? We know
Right.
people are going to Yelp, they're looking for a business, but they don't realize that they're comparing like 2 to 5 other companies to them, right? And Daniel, I know from your standpoint, when we look at this and the fact that with AI now, the AI overviews, which matter of fact, Yelp is a big contributor to that. Yelp is used to pull in information and give an AI overview. This is some
Yeah,
of the
that's very
reasons.
important because when we just got back like recently, a couple of weeks ago from the AHR, and we spoke to a lot of contractors there. Guys, just hello if you were there as well, and so part of them, some of them, they don't use Yelp at all. They don't use any marketing. They just rely on referrals. But those who use and actually involved in marketing, everybody is asking how actually we can be visible in the AI models, in ChatGPT, in Claude, in Perplexity, and all that stuff. And you're right. So Yelp is one of the reasons to be there if you're ranking very good and you have a very good profile in Yelp. That's true. One of the
Yeah.
factors.
And and part of those I just saw a video, not a video, but an article yesterday about how to use AI to get better SEO, have as far as organic rankings. And one of the reasons that Yelp is used so much is this verified reviews. It's a sticking point, and sometimes it's a burr under people's saddle that, oh, the Yelp system for reviews and everything, but it's a trusted factor by AI because it is so scrutinized. And so it's going to help your business. So the best way to deal with the problem is not to ignore the problem. It is to take that problem head on. But you want to make sure you have the right company helping you do it. And that's where Net Rockets is there to do multiple things for you. So we'll dive into this anymore. I'm curious, Daniel, is anybody in the group right now that has a quick question before we dive into the information? Feel free to drop it in the chat. Daniel, from what we've went over so far, what are some things you think about?
Yeah, I wanted also to add that, guys, if you have questions, just drop them in the chat. We want to make this workshop really as a workshop, not just a webinar, like Johnny only talking, but also you talking, you sharing something, and you sharing your questions, of course. And while we're waiting for the questions, also share if you're using Yelp, if you have a Yelp account for your HVAC business, send one, or if you are not using Yelp yet, send 0. So we'll get to know, we'll see who is where. I mean, who is already involved, who is not. And of course, if you're happy with that, if you have any results to share those results. And I will help Johnny to watch the comments, to watch the feedback, and we'll I will make sure that every answer or every question is answered. So yeah, we have guys. Larry's using. Yeah. We have Joy's using.
Yep.
Joey, and then who else, guys? Just comment in, drop the 1 or drop the 0 or the comments. Thank you for the activities. Thank you for the activities. It's a love and hate relationships. That's true. That's definitely. This is what I hear, by the way, all the time when I'm talking to HVAC contractors live, and even on the last event, same thing. One of my questions was when we were discussing the market, and it was about Yelp.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, you definitely, and I think you are right. Yeah, Joy, that we could probably use more work on our profile. We can definitely even check out your profile if you want it. We can check your profile live right now with Johnny a bit later when we'll have a pause for the next for the demos. Yeah, hey Luis, thanks for sharing using Yelp. Okay, then so cool. You have some experience with Yelp already, and Johnny has a lot of information to share. So we'll talk about the numbers. We will talk about, I don't know, all the questions which you may have. And we have some questions from the previous meeting. In the end, we will share them. And we will even have a live demo because Johnny wants to show how the things are really working and where you should pay attention to when you're working with your Yelp account, even if you're doing it yourself, because it's really, Yelp seems easy. And if you have time, if you have this knowledge how to manage it, you can do it, definitely. If you don't have time, you definitely need somebody in your team or like partner with some team, and this is how you will definitely win more jobs and more leads with Yelp. Okay, let's go ahead. Air care, heating, and cooling. And what is your location? Where's the company is located? Then I think we'll definitely have a look on that on the profile at the.
Yeah, we can do that. Yep.
Yeah.
So as we're giving some more general information, not just about Yelp, but more so what's going on with HVAC. There we go. So one of the reasons we scheduled this here on March the 5th is, you all know this, we are moving into the busiest time of the year. Now, one of the things that I'm able to do as a partner account director working with NetRocket is I'm going back in and I'm looking at the entire platform, and I'm looking at when are the peak times to use ads, right? Maybe there's some times you can dial it down, right? There's some HVAC or some home services companies that make sense to advertise year round, but with HVAC, we want to make sure we can have some flexibility here to step up whenever the times are getting busy, and then draw it back down, so you're not putting in too much dollars. But so we will take care of these. So these top months, if you're not doing this already, the best months to advertise on Yelp are going to be February through April, and then again July through August. And the reason for that, we see two spikes that happen over this time frame. We have a spring spike and a summer spike. And so as far as the traffic going up, now here's the great thing about Yelp with this is that as traffic goes up, the demand increases. Typically the number of advertisers don't grow that much, which means now you're going to get a lower cost per lead during those busy months. So you're getting a double whammy here. It builds on top of each other. Number one, by you advertising during those times, you're going to be able to make sure you're seen, get more visibility for people when they're ready to contact a HVAC company for that install, for that repair, to put in, mini split systems, to put a whole central air system in, whatever that's going to be. As they are looking at who they're going to hire, now you're going to be able to show up more often. Your cost per lead is lower, right? And again, this is part of the advantage of having that Rock and I working together for you. So if you're located, again, we have lots of people from all across the country in this webinar today. These are the top 10 markets for HVAC page views on Yelp. If you're not in one of these areas, that's okay. These are just the top 10. If you're in the top 10, you have to use that rocket. I mean, it makes a giant difference of when it's so competitive. Another one that's not on here, probably number 11, Houston. I grew up in the Houston area. The heat and the humidity, it's growing down here. If you're in these areas, you got to make sure you're getting with us to do some in-depth analysis for your business if you're in one of these spots. Along with this, some things to keep in mind if you're not using ads, right? If you're not using ads today in your HVAC business and you have a Yelp profile, which you most likely do, you're joining the 95% that are not advertising. That's a huge number. Only about 4 to 5% of HVAC companies are advertising on Yelp, which means you don't always have to dominate by budgets. You just have to make sure you're seen. And advertisers are receiving 2 out of 3 leads on Yelp for HVAC. 2 out of 3. So wherever you're located, if you're not using ads yet, one of the ways you book more jobs this year in 2026 is to make sure you have some ads running, it's being managed properly, your profiles are optimized, and we can walk through some of those things. Matter of fact, I'll show you a live demo here after we get to this section because I want to point some things out. For those of you that like to make sure that, yes, I'm booking jobs, and after I book that job, I want that person to leave me a review. Well, at Yelp, everything needs to be organically done. There's no soliciting reviews. There's no asking somebody to leave you a review. However, we can see here clearly those who are advertising, they're seen much more often by everyday Yelp users, and they're getting almost 12 times more reviews for their business that are sticking on Yelp, right? Because they're seeing 14 times more than non-advertisers, and they're getting 16 times more people to click over and view their profile. All these things add up to, it makes sense, right? If you're not seen, then nobody's going to your page. If they don't go to your page, they can't contact you to book a job. If they don't book a job, then how will they ever leave a review? Because they're not a customer. These things all work together to make sure that you're getting the very, very best results. And we know that advertisers are getting a 3 times higher conversion rate from a page view to a lead. All these things are working together to make sure that, again, you're booking the jobs. Now, Daniel, a question I get a lot of times is, well, what Yelp calls a lead, I don't call a lead, right? I call a lead a book job. I call a lead a book appointment. I hear this, and I understand your thinking, but I want to make sure when we talk about leads coming over, there's really like three or four main ways companies are booking, are getting contacted so they can book a job. And message leads by far is the dominant way for HVAC. And so with that being said, you got to make sure you're really on top of receiving and responding to those messages, but also calls and clicked over to your website. So mobile calls, desktop calls coming over, and having a great booking page on your website to book the appointments. Daniel, for you and the clients you're managing, does this look consistent from what you've been seeing, or do you have some differences of what you're dealing with?
Yes, so that's what actually we see also in the market. But what I want to add here, that a lot of contractors, they I don't know how they sometimes they just lose a lot of leads on the text message, on the messaging side,
Mhm.
where if you don't have a person or like dedicated person for the message, like to keep this conversations very with the fast responding like fast responding the leads, incoming leads, and then following up, and then also like booking the appointment. This is where we have opportunities. Definitely, I'm sure that most of you have opportunities there. If you don't use, I don't know, write in the comments, please, guys, if you're using any AI tools for this kind of communication support, because I see a big difference for in those accounts who use this and those who try to make it still manually, and they really think that Yelp doesn't work at all because nobody responds.
Right.
Uh, but the reason usually is that somebody is just responding faster, and they just catch that lead and it's already gone.
Yeah. 100%. Matter of fact, we're gonna wrap up this section. I'm gonna do a live search real quick here for you. Looking at this, any questions anybody have in general before we jump into like a live demo, show you what's going on, how people, and to Daniel's point, that speed to lead strategy, how it makes such a difference for you to book the job. Any questions in regards to just an overall summary?
Okay, Joy, you have a comment. So I don't use AI for Yelp. I have my own AI platform being built, and I use Yelp. Yelp doesn't let me into it. They want me to use their AI.
Well,
That's strange because we in our accounts we use an external AI agent, so not that one which Yelp actually has by default.
yeah. And part of that, again, it comes back to that partnership that you have, right? The fact you have a partnership established, we're able to work together to make sure you're integrating in your third party platforms for that AI autoresponder chatbot type of thing.
Mhm.
So let's I'm gonna walk you guys through an example of what a business owner sees when they're dealing with NetRocket and how we work together to bring information together. So we're going to look at the Phoenix area. It's one of the most popular areas as far as using Yelp, and also from traffic on Yelp for HVAC. And so this is live, right? So I just did a search for heating and air in Phoenix. So Daniel, your point to that you mentioned as far as people responding quickly to leads. From a desktop view here, we can see the businesses that are advertising. If you didn't know this before, take note. Your top lead generators in the market, the companies that are booking the most leads, are typically seeing the first 5 positions. Okay. So we look through here, we can see there's several different companies that are advertising. You can actually have up to 10 different advertisers on the screen. But again, normally over the course of a month, your top 5 companies that are generating the most leads are always seen at the top of the page. And that makes sense, right? When a Yelp user is trying to find a business they're going to hire, the list always starts at the top and you work your way down. The number one factor that controls where you rank, there's 2 big things. The number one is going to be budget available to generate a click, because Yelp is a pay per click type of model. So if you have budget available, you're going to be able to get somebody to click over to your page to determine if they want to contact you or not. The second factor is how often does somebody see your page and then convert into a contact and convert to a phone call, a message lead? How often does it happen? Those are your two biggest factors on who's going to show up on the page in different locations. But Daniel, you talked about that response to the lead. We can see right here, located, this business, they're responding within 10 minutes of receiving a message lead. As a matter of fact, over the last 90 days, they've received 964 message leads in the last 90 days. That's over 10 a day that they're receiving. So another one here, under 10 minutes, 215 requested quote leads. Third one, they're not using request to quote. You don't have to use it, but if you use it, you got to be on top of it. Under 10 minutes. So I think there's a consistent theme here. Under 10 minutes. If you're taking longer than 10 minutes to respond, man, that's why we hear that. Hey, I'm using these message leads, but nobody's contacting me back. Right. So
Right.
what are you guys using to help your clients right now to be able to have a strategy on how to respond?
Sorry, once again, Johnny. Once again, I just got a call accidentally.
No problem. So I know, Daniel, your team, you guys have a response strategy in place, right? To help
Yeah.
coach them, show them this is how you should respond, right? Include, be very personable, right? Make sure if you're using autoresponder, the chat bot's turned on so it can address the exact issue that's happening and provide some sort of a range of a quote. It's not a final quote. There needs to be definitely a message in there. This is not the final quote. However, people who need this is what we see as a range. So, Daniel, your thoughts on that as far as
Yeah. That's correct. So first of all, we need to catch the conversation, and we need to get the phone number if they're ready for a call, and we just go straight to book an appointment and call them. And it's actually usually easy when we work with our clients, because either they're quite big companies and established and they have this already in place, this business process, or if we help them to install that AI autoresponder, it's trained so well, so we just get them the result after it starts the conversation. And then of course the dispatch or a manager comes into the conversation and finishes that due to the SOPs which they have internally. Yeah, but the main thing is to be really real quick to respond to that, and everything should be very fast, like fast to lead, as you said.
Fast and personal, and in follow-ups, right? We see a lot of times,
even if they don't respond, we saw a lot of times then when we use the follow-up system, then we still got not only responses, we got jobs out of those communications and chats.
No doubt. And so many people are using some autoresponders today. They're using some AI, but I think the human response back, as far as replying and calling back onto somebody right now, about 40% of all message leads that comes across Yelp for HVAC, they have a phone number in there. So make sure you're calling those back here. Now, as we're going along, we're about halfway through our content so far. I want to show you, you're all business owners, you run your company for HVAC. I want to show you what it would look like as far as the information we're able to bring back for you using this is a fictitious example. This is a mock presentation, but we are using actual information from the Phoenix market in particular. This is the average, compiling all the average non-advertisers into one business, which I'm calling Phoenix area HVAC, as well as I'm going to show you some top competitors in the market. This is their real information. Now we're concealing their names, but we don't want to do anything that would be negative against their business. Just like for you, we wouldn't do that for you either. However, I think it's good to see what's happening in the market. So really quick here, we're gonna fly through this, and then we'll make sure we open things up for some more questions for you. But we talked about earlier those spikes the spring spike and the summer spike, where we can see it right here in that Phoenix area. On average, there's over 32,000 searches and page views in the Phoenix market. And we can see there's a 48% jump in traffic from February through March and April. So we see this, and this is looking back over the last year for this market. 48% jump happens then. And then again, we see that summer spike, another 30% from May till the end of August, as far as more traffic coming through. So as we think about the best strategy for you, if you're going to book more jobs for HVAC in 2026 in this market or wherever you're located, and by the way, we can pull this same information for your market. We can tell you exactly when you should be looking to raise budgets or lower budgets. Okay. You need to pay attention to when the high traffic times are coming through so you can stand out. We also break down for you. We show you really what's going on, what's good for your business. So in this case, right, we have an HVAC business there in Phoenix. We're able to know what their advantage is because there is a lot of traffic that's coming through. We know we're going to see a 48% in traffic surging up over the next 90 days. But their challenge in this case, you may have noticed that, is that the fake business we're putting together here that has a 2.3 stars. Like, how is your rating on Yelp today? Are you above a 3? Are you below a 3? However it goes, we have a strategy to help you. And so in this case, we'll walk through this scenario here. But in our case here, we have a business has 2.3 rating on Yelp, but we know we can help them win. So the way we go about this is, again, we want to break down exactly what's been happening to you for your business. In this case here, we can see that they only showed up 48 times organically, not good at all. Only 7 page views, only had 1 person click through. So very low conversion to a lead. Whereas their competitors, again, these are real businesses in the market. This is actual January platform data from Phoenix. The top competitors in the market, we can see the budgets they're putting into this. These budgets are from 16,000 to 58,000 monthly. Now, are they doing that because they're crazy? No, they're doing it because they're booking jobs, right? And so we can see from this, they're booking anywhere from 19, 20% up to almost 40% of these page views into leads that can convert to a job. So you'll get the same information whenever we're doing something more personalized for you. Once we know this, then we're able to go in and see where that gap is. What do we have to do? It's not just enough to advertise on Yelp or any type of platform. We're just giving you the advantage that if you're going to compete, to know who you're competing against and what it's going to take to beat them. Okay. Obviously, once NetRocket is working to drive traffic to you, then you got to answer the phone. You got to reply to the messages. You got to have your team ready to book a job, because remember, they're looking at 2 to 5 other companies. Okay. So we have the strategy in place. The biggest thing, like I said before, is we look at the rankings on as far as how visible you're going to be. It's going to be the budget. So we're going to recommend a good, better, and best budget to you. The better budget is your average of your competitors. A good is 10% less than your lowest top 3 competitor, and the best is 10% more than the top one. We give this to you so you can see in this example. Again, this is, if you're a business of Phoenix, this is what we recommend today. But you could be getting anywhere from 110 up to 600 different leads per month. And based on the local market data, based on the average lifetime value of a customer, we know in Phoenix, if you invested in these areas, you could be bringing in additional monthly of $47,000 up to $210,000 per month just from Yelp, right? So the return on investment, if we're doing it the right way, if you said, well, Johnny, I'm just going to throw a little bit into it, we'll see if it works, I would tell you, don't do that. Don't even put the money into it. Now, you don't have to come in at this high. We'll work with you within your area, within your budgets, but we want you to understand what you should expect out of it, so that we can work together long term. Because when you go with NetRocket, again, our process, and I'm going to show you their 90-day steps they do, this 90-day process they do. It's one of the things is everything's fully transparent. When you come on board, number one, we're going to show you everything that's possible to do in the market, what we recommend you do. Then you're able to invest, and everything is set up to win from the beginning. So you have a dedicated tracking number, the UTM codes to track things going to your website, continual optimization. I'm meeting with the team all the time at NetRocket. We're sharing notes. We're looking at the competitors. What do we have to do to get you bumped up higher? Maybe it's not more money. Maybe it's just adding on some additional portfolios. Maybe it's like you said, we talked about earlier. It's tweaking your strategy on how you're responding to message leads. All these things are put in here, as well as for everybody who is getting live to before April the 1st with NetRocket, we have up to a $1,800 boost bonus ads we're going to add to the program as you get launched with NetRocket here in the month of March. So super easy. All you have to do is say, if you're running ads today, turn them off. Turn off your ads today. If you're running them on your own, turn them off, because we can't move you over to NetRocket when you're running a live campaign. If you're not running a campaign today, let's talk to Daniel and the team. Let's put together a plan, and all you have to do is give them access to your account as far as your Yelp management, and we get things up and running for you. The 90-day process, I'm not going to read through all of this. Matter of fact, we've been walking through this scenario. Let me just show you real quick, kind of to wrap up our story for this Phoenix area HVAC company that we invented. But this is typical of what we see over the first 90 days. The first 30 days, we're launching, we're optimizing the profile. We're getting everything up to like the best it can look with all your offers and photos and getting things connected as far as attribution to a lead. Those are all getting connected there. The next 30 days, we're really analyzing the results we first got, and we're going to make adjustments, right, to tweak those to ensure we can take that and boost it up even higher, so that by the time we get to day 90, in this case here, good news for Phoenix area HVAC, even though they had a 2.3 score to start as far as their rating, we have a process in place that's specifically designed for businesses who have less than 3 stars on Yelp. That is converting into jobs, and we love to share that with you. So let's get with NetRocket. Let's get that going. Daniel, before I move on, because I'm going to show them one of your, if it's okay with you, Daniel, can I show them one of your actual customers' results? So they have a case study. Is that okay to show them that?
Yeah, we can do this, and we can when you will be ready. We have 2 questions. Also,
Okay.
we can do it practically if you share the screen and so on. So
Yeah,
whatever you want to do first.
let's
So
do
we
the
have
first. Yeah, go ahead.
guys. Yeah, thank you. By the way, thank you that you are so active today. So you have questions. You have your different locations, and we have guys from Montana, from California, and the Max is actually asking how the Yelp works in Chicago area.
Oh my gosh, Chicago.
I know that it's differently than it's from like in California, but anyway, you share. I know you have stats, by the way.
Chicago. So I just want to go back to my little chart over here. Forgive me, I have not memorized the order of the top 10. I want to know, yeah, sure. Chicago, number 4, right? So how's it work? The reason it's number 4, it's looking at traffic and page views. So Yelp in Chicago, because here's the thing. I don't want to just say something without making sure I double check my figure. So thank you for asking. But in generally speaking, Chicago is an awesome Yelp market. I just wanted to see how they stacked up to the other markets for HVAC. So yeah, HVAC in Chicago is a phenomenal spot. There is a lot of traffic. We have several different companies that are advertising in that market already. And so whenever we get together, I'm able to go in and do a deep dive, like I'm kind of showing you today, of what's happening. But we'll be able to look at your business compared to those companies in the Chicago area. I also know for Chicago, it's a unique area, right? You have your downtown area, Then there's that Chicago land area, which is more west of Lake Michigan. That's out there by Schaumburg and Park Ridge and those areas, right? Displaying those areas there. So not living right in the city, but being outside the city, there's some differences. So if you don't serve downtown, but you just really want to stay out in those areas, like I mentioned, like Schaumburg, Park Ridge, those areas, Rosemont. If you want to stay out there, Mount Prospect, you want to stay out in those areas, we can also get that set up for you as well. So we can define it. So great question. It does work great in Chicago. Another
Yeah,
question.
from myself, Max, I would say that if you go to your like Yelp listing, the top 10
Mm.
HVAC contractors in Chicago, and you see that the guys are advertising, they have reviews, they have like just go through the reviews, you read the reviews if they have actual and like recent reviews, and if they have the stats, how many leads they got, you will definitely see even from the front end, you'll see that you like the accounts are active and they actually get some business from Yelp.
Yeah. So perfect. Another little tip to see how long they've been on Yelp and how active they're on Yelp. Check this out. I don't know this company. Just looked it up just live just now. But what I can see is they have 117 reviews that are recommended on Yelp. How active is it? They've been using Yelp for a long time. Because remember, here's a stat. I don't know how I thrown it out there yet. Typically, only 5 to 10% of your customers are able to leave a recommended review on Yelp because there's not everybody leaves a review. Believe it or not, most people don't leave reviews, right? So when I see that, I see 117 reviews. They've probably booked anywhere from 10 to 20 times more jobs than what's even showing up on here. So, but that's a great point here. Looking through who's out there already. Remember those top 5. These are serious about how they're advertising on Yelp, and but we'll dig into them and figure out a way for you to win.
Yeah, so let's move to the next question, Max. Yeah, summarizing. So it works a bit differently than in California, but still, I would try it if you're thinking like to do it or not, and then you'll definitely see that the leads are coming in. But make sure that you really play good with the leads, with the leads which are coming, because I saw a lot of the times, not only with Yelp but with the other advertising channels, that guys invest in their dollars, then they receive leads, or they can miss those leads or miss conversations, and then they don't close the jobs, and they think that it's not working, and then they stop investing, and they lose some like opportunities in that specific channel. So make sure that you're ready to work with the lead flow. Then we have one more question from Joy. And we have also the business name, the Air Care Heating and Cooling from San Jose. So we can check the San Jose area. And the question is that the Bay Area, I will highlight the question so you can see it as well. The Bay Area, and everybody who is watching on this in the recording on YouTube, also you can read it. The Bay Area, California, is a very competitive market, and the companies, they have so many reviews, and I feel like I can never catch up. What would be the recommendation? Send more money for Yelp, or try and keep getting more reviews before spending too much money? So this is the question.
Yep.
And I can tell you that definitely we know this market. We have several clients there in Bay Area, and yeah, they have a lot of reviews. They invest a lot of money into Yelp accounts, and not only Yelp. So let's find your company, Joy, and let's see what you got, and let's actually see what's there in the Bay Area, what's there in the market.
Yeah. So do you want me to search out for his profile? Is that something he wants to do on this, or do you just want to kind of talk in general?
Yeah, let's do both. Let's do in general, and let's find the Air Care Heating and Cooling then.
So in general, first, what I'll say is that, yeah, when you're newer into a market, whether it's in the Bay Area or anywhere else, and let's say you have competition, you can see here, there's some hefty competition here. This company has over 1,400 recommended reviews on Yelp. This one here has 659. As long as you have 10 or more, we're good, right? If you have less than 10, we can work with you on that. But the reason why I say 10 or more is we can show a track history that you have absolutely been hired and had business accomplished through Yelp users. So when we're going head to head against some of these companies that have been long term established, um, the answer may not be let's just throw more money at it than them. I don't think that's always the best strategy, because if if we're just showing up equal to them and you have, you know, way less reviews than they do, and somebody's making a decision on review scores the same, everything looks the same, but they have more reviews. I want to find a nuance. I want to find some way that was helps your business stand out. You know, you can stand behind and you're better. Maybe it's responding to people better. Maybe it's your pricing. Maybe you have a special you have in place for veterans or senior citizens or whatever you're using, right? Um, there's only something there, but so there's not a general statement. There's not a good general answer I can give you about as far as going to outspend them in the market when they have a lot more reviews. But there is a way to book more jobs, right? So in ultimately, I want to help you book jobs, and I know that's what Daniel and his team want to do as well. We want to see where you fit into that niche, that we don't have to outspend everybody. Matter of fact, the case study I'm going to show you, it's a perfect example of that coming up here in just in a few minutes. But so what was the name again of this exact business? Okay, thank you.
Air care, heating and cooling. And let's see how many reviews, Joy, you got on your account. And the question actually is, this is a this is a question, like, if it does make sense if you have, let's say, 20 or 30 reviews or 50 reviews to compete with these huge guys who has 1.5K reviews or even more sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Wanted
I
to.
think I saw your account, and also the website maybe. So it's
Yeah.
something familiar to me.
So all right. So super quick, because I want to make sure we can handle everything for everybody here.
Oh
So
yeah,
one of the things I'll be able to do for you is we'll do a complete analysis looking at the profile, and we can send that to you after the call. We'll go through and we'll measure up how well these are optimized already. In regards to reviews, you already have 215 recommended reviews, a 4.8 score, which, by the way, the best score you can ever get on Yelp is 4.9. Right? So you're right, like so close. So such a great score at 4.8, 4.9, because the fives sometimes they look fake, when honestly. Like nobody is going to have a five once you've been in business for a long time. But 215 reviews, that's a very solid number. You've done a lot of great business having Yelp users hire you over time. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. That's a good number of reviews, and you definitely. I don't know, Joy, if you are investing right now or how much you investing into Yelp advertising, but you definitely, if you are, you definitely winning the jobs, or if you will, you definitely will win the jobs, because we have, I saw in the same market, on the same Bay Area market, I saw different accounts, and it doesn't matter if they have 1.5 thousand reviews, they get jobs, and those guys who have 100, 150, 200 reviews, they also get jobs. So
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
works.
there's there's a big pie of jobs to be booked, right? And quite honestly, you couldn't handle all the jobs. So we want to make sure your trucks are booked constantly, your crews are out working, and you can grow as you want to grow. And that's where we're able to do that more customized strategy when we have more of a one-on-one conversation. So definitely looking forward to talking to you after our webinar here today, our workshop.
Yeah, and just one more quick question, because I'm sure that the answer will be quick. So Diana is asking, can you remove a bad review from Yelp account? I assume that's a short,
So
but
yeah.
anyway, you can get more on that.
So
That's perfect.
quick answer on that. Can you remove a bad review? It all depends, right? Removing it, they would have to be absolutely outside of Yelp's guidelines, and it could be seen as a safety or trust issue. From because the algorithm and the way Yelp looks at reviews is not just about your business; it's about who leaves the review and what they're saying. And so we have to look at the specific review. It's good to do that all out of this meeting here. Um, typically what I find is if it is absolutely somebody who's outside of Yelp's guidelines, the review really is not about your business, or it's somebody who's a bad actor who's trying to do something to hurt your business, but they're really not a customer of yours, maybe a former employee or a competitor. Those can absolutely be flagged. And this is one of the advantages you get with NetRocket is that we're able to come in, work together, flag that review, get it submitted, and if it's found to be outside of Yelp's policies, it can be removed from recommended to not recommended and maybe even scrubbed completely. So if those are really bad situations in that, but definitely removed from the recommended to not recommended. It is possible, but we definitely recommend having NetRocket do that on your behalf.
Yeah, we had this kind of case when even one guy tried to leave, like, not try, he left 2 bad reviews to one company, and actually one of them stick, one like, just went away. So that's possible, not all the time, most of the time not possible. So let's just do our best to get better reviews, and this is the best way.
Right. Yep. And that is so true, because remember, your score on Yelp is it's an average of all, right? So even if we talked about earlier, if you only have a few reviews, that's okay. And that makes it even easier to build up a good positive score. So it's booking more jobs, making more money by using the Yelp ads, and then the reviews will come organically, naturally after that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
talking about
let's go. We come back to other questions. So guys, keep asking questions. I will get back to Johnny with questions a bit later, so Johnny can finish the presentation.
So, but this is part of it, right? This is an actual customer of yours that you guys took on out of Brooklyn, okay? And we talked about that 90-day process that NetRocket has in place to make sure the results are improving. This is actual customer, remove their name, but they're in Brooklyn. And so here's the situation, right? You can see they cover a very, very tight area. If you've been to New York before, obviously packed with a lot of people. They launched a campaign on December the 5th of 2025. December 5th, just a few months ago, right? And at that time, what was happening in their market, there was over 61,000 searches and page views. We knew also that based on bookings that were happening in the market, looking at reviews, looking at the types of jobs, about $465 million is being booked in this area from Yelp users. Okay. So where they were is that as we dug in looking at who their top competitors are, we saw their top competitors were putting in $1,950 a month. We showed you Phoenix just a while ago, much higher numbers, right? Brooklyn, New York, back in December, okay, $1,950 was your average top competitor budget. The cost per lead was only $16, and the top competitors were getting 113 leads each, which was, matter of fact, 52% of all the leads. This is one of the things that really we see it over and over, is that when we can get you into this top competitor level, you're going to it builds on itself, because you're going to be able to get more leads coming through because you're at the very top of the screen. So we want to invest in a way to make sure you're there. Now, here's the issue that was happening for this particular business. They were putting in $3,000 a month before they started working with NetRocket. Well, the top investors or the top lead generators are at $1,950. They're putting in $3,000, but you can see here they had very, very low, only 3 mobile calls a month, 7 messages, 3 website visits, and they were ranked number 14 in the market. So even though they were throwing a lot of dollars into it, they really weren't getting the return on it. So what NetRocket did, we came in, we Daniel and the team and I sat down, looked at them, and we decided, you know what? Let's not start up way up here. Let's come in at 1,500, just below those other top competitors. But we're going to fully optimize the profile. We're going to make sure they have a great, strong call to action. that we made sure their portfolios were built up. We started putting some Yelp Connect, like updates from the business on their page. This caused the lead conversions to jump dramatically. 68, 69% of the leads that were coming through their channel were request a quote. So we turn a request a quote. They started getting about 69, 68% of the leads were coming to request a quote. And it just totally changed things. Their response, part of the strategy that goes through NetRocket, they are responding at amazing fast times to make sure they were first one there to interact with the customer. So this is the results in less than 90 days. In less than 90 days, they went from getting 10 leads a month to 94 in less than 90 days. Again, with a lower budget, with half the budget that they were doing before. Conversions, 28% up to 65%. And you can see here across the board, they went from getting less than about 1% of the market. 7% of all the leads are coming to them now in this market. And they went from being ranked number 11, they're number 3 in the Brooklyn market now. They're a top player in the Brooklyn market. And now they're up there. We just gonna keep it rolling, right? And this all happened in that, those cold months, right? So these are heating leads that are coming over. They went from 11 to number 3 as there was actually more growth in the market. There's actually more companies jumped in to advertise on Yelp during that cold snap. They had to compete against, and they still beat them too. So when you look at this and what we're doing, it's not just we're not just just shoot. We're not just throwing darts at a dartboard, right? This is very precise of what we're looking to. We're projecting that they're going to make about $2.5 million this year based strictly on their Yelp investment of what they're doing. And we've been talking about reviews right here, 3 different reviews that have come through here recently, just recently. This isn't all the reviews, but 3 recent reviews coming through, how people are loving it. These are Yelp users, 5-star reviews. So they're reaping the benefits over and over and over from this. And the biggest takeaways is it was NetRocket who came in and did the management of it, making sure that they had everything in place to help them, not just advertise on Yelp, but be successful on Yelp. So I wanted to share those with you. Coming out of that, I know now we have some time for some Q&A, but before I move on here, Daniel, you know who this customer is, the HVAC company. How's things been work? What's going on with them? Is there anything extra you can share without, divulging their name as far as the results they're getting?
I think that we will share this in more details, maybe on the next episode, because right now we have just a couple of minutes to
Okay.
And I just wanted to jump on the questions and
Yes.
let you guys go. And for those who have some time, we can stick for another 5 minutes to chat with you guys. So this is not a problem. So first of all, thank you everybody for coming. If you have to leave, then no worries. We will still have this meeting recorded and we'll send it out to you. But we have the couple more questions. So let's go to the FAQ. So the question is, what about if we just starting up this business? So I assume that you don't have reviews, you don't have anything. Johnny, go first. I will also.
Sure. So first of all, congratulations for getting everything up and running, and we're here to help you. There's no better way to get things going than start. You're starting fresh. And so, there's a lot of competition out there, but first of all, we got to figure out who that competition is. Having 0 reviews is not an issue on Yelp. It's not, because there's nothing there has a history as a positive or a negative, right? So you don't have any negative baggage out there, as well as possibly based on your website, based on your other forms of advertising you've done in the past. Maybe you have other customer testimonials. NetRocket can help you build out your page, build out some portfolios of jobs of you've done in the past. maybe some customer testimonials. We can do things to add to your profile. Meanwhile, making sure you're using the right type of budget. We just showed you here the company out of the Bronx, or not Bronx, but Brooklyn, to be able to find the right budget for you to be competitive in the market. And then once things start to build up for you over that first 90 days, then we can expand and grow from there. So I think, having 0 reviews on Yelp, you're just getting started, we can find a way to win, and we will.
Yeah, guys, just to let you know that we are finishing very soon, but we just want to play more with the Q&A section. If you have questions, drop them down. We will answer all the questions, and then we'll close this meeting. So then, yeah, from my side, I would say that no worries. If you're only starting, you may have some reviews, as Johnny said, from the other platforms. So this is what you can show on your account as well, in the pictures, in the visual things, and actually, we have experience starting the accounts from zero, from scratch, even with no reviews. If they're very informative, they're getting leads, they're getting jobs booked, and then so everything is fine. So you just need to make it right and just start it, and you'll definitely have leads, and you'll definitely have jobs if you do everything correctly. So no worries
Everybody
about
out there who has reviews, right, Daniel? Everybody started from zero. So
Everybody started from zero, and still companies are starting
yeah,
from zero right now. And you will, maybe next time you will have the new location, and this location will again start from zero, but you will have already some background, of course, from other locations. So it's definitely possible. Then
mhm.
the next question we have from the Instagram live. So efficiently of every dollar spent on Yelp, we comparing to Google Ads. Johnny, if you have information about that, I will then also comment on this. So what do you think?
Sure. So there was a study done by WordStream in 2024. I haven't seen anything over the last year or so, but one of the things it was looking at then, and this is really before, AI has been around for a while, but the shift of AI overviews has made a huge impact. But the efficiency of ad spend, when you look at Google Ads versus Yelp, based on your market, based on your industry, we can talk about numbers from a big picture perspective. Yelp absolutely was showing it was had a higher return on ad spend than Google, but every business in every location is specific, right? So where I think sometimes we can talk about just big picture numbers, general stats like that, where Yelp's going to outperform them. I think it's better really to look at your local area, look at your business, look at the competitors, and then maybe look, if you're running Google Ads today, fantastic. Let's take a look at what your return on ad spend is right now, and then let's look at what's going on for a typical competitor in the market for Yelp, and then we can determine how that's going to stack up for you. So that would be my response to that. And I'm absolutely, after our meeting today, I can send over that article from WordStream from 2024 that really broke down industries as far as the differences between Google and Yelp.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And I will comment on this, that actually, really, Johnny, I'm with you. It may be this and that way. So it's sometimes maybe equal, or sometimes Yelp works better than Google Ads. And I would just do both. If
Yep.
we have enough budget, if I would run, let's say I'm running my HVAC trade company, like the service company, I'm in the trade, I would run both in Yelp and Google, and also the other channels, because we are in NetRocket. We usually, in NetRocket HVAC marketing school, we usually talk about the 8-figure HVAC business concept. So this is the 8-figure marketing system. And if we're talking about comparing just in order to turn something on and turn something off, this will work only for the small businesses. For the bigger businesses, you definitely need to consider all the possible channels, and each of them should be as much effective as it can be. And I can tell you that with the Google Ads, with Yelp, you'll definitely receive the leads right away, and it depends how fast you react to them. on and work with them. And with Google, in my experience, Google ads campaign may be minusing your budget, minusing the profits during maybe 3-4 months until it will really learn very good and it will start working very well. And with Google ads, if you're talking about the search ads, you'll have definitely to deal with the job seekers and all the other things which you have in the Google search campaign. So we're talking about the local service ads. This is easier, this is better, and this is also a very good channel if you know how to work with that, and if it's really running and delivering leads to your business. So I would do everything. As answering the question can be really dependent on the market and can be different, but should be effective. Has to be effective.
Yep.
Thanks for the questions, guys. If you have any questions live, just go with like drop them in the comments. We can jump on several questions which we had from the last meeting, and we will then wrapping up this webinar, this workshop.
Okay. So some things we had from last time, just to touch on some of these, and some of these we've already talked about, right? How fast can we see? How fast can we see results? Right? That was a question. Well, we have proofs in the pudding. We already know within 90 days, especially right now. I mean, that's one of the things I'm most impressed with the case study from the Brooklyn location is that it's in the slower. I know it's heating, but the heating searches are always lower than the AC searches. Like people can put on a blanket, but you cannot if you don't have air. People go crazy when it's hot. So right now, if you're looking at how quick can you see results and start making money from this, like now, like we can just get this going now. By the time June hits, things will be fully optimized. You'll be ready for that. You'll be there for the first spike and the second spike. So that's there on how fast. Another question. So are these price shoppers, right? Daniel, this is the one we talked about earlier. 2 to 5 companies are being looked at. This is huge, everybody. A Yelp lead is not like, so LSA, right? They're clicking, they're going to call you, you're paying for the call. The cost per lead is typically a lot higher on LSA versus typically, again, general numbers, a lot higher than Yelp. However, the complaint, I know you hear this, Daniel, and I hear it too, is, well, these people, they're not serious. I'm like, how can you say they're not serious? Well, they didn't book with me. Really? They booked with somebody, so they are serious. What's going on with you? What was your offer? How quick did you respond? What was your response? They are going to book. They're typically not coming out just to book with you. They're looking at multiple companies, and this is why I can't stress enough. I know you're probably getting tired of time of saying it. This is why you need NetRocket, because NetRocket knows what we need to do to make sure you look better than those other 4 or 5 companies they're looking at, and then it's up to you to respond to them quickly and book them immediately as you make connection, because they're looking to book a job with you. Daniel, what do you have to say about that?
I just can say that it seems that it's a lot of there are a lot of price shoppers in the market, and when of course when they shopping for installations and replacements, that definitely you will fight against the company. But if we're talking about this just service calls or repairs, this is where you can close the leads very quickly, and then maybe you'll upsell them, or just maybe they just need the replacement, not the repair. So it depends on the sales model and the business model, what you have, and the target of the first contact to this homeowner. And I'm not saying about that you need to be push and sell to them, but I'm just saying that you just need to understand what is the real need in the when they book something, even it's not a replacement or installation, what everybody wants.
As you're saying that, it reminded me of you have another client that's in the New Jersey area. They came into it. They told us up front, we want more installs. We have
Mhm.
enough repairs. We want more installs. And so we built a program for them focused on installs. Now, there's not as many installs as there is repairs. And you're right. Sometimes you show up for a repair job, you realize I need an install. Okay. And so you can upsell them into that install. But I do want to point out, you're right. The bigger the purchase, the more they compare. And that goes on not just for HVAC, that goes on for vehicles, houses, right? If you're making a big dollar purchase, vacations, right? If you're going to spend a lot of money, you're looking for the best deal. And so don't take offense when they're trying to figure out who, are you the best bang for their buck, because you're doing the same thing today. You're trying to determine where should you put your marketing dollars, right? And you should. They're just doing the same thing from their side. But yeah, if you have some nuances like this company here, which they've gotten a lot more installs from Yelp than they ever had before. Let us know about your particular needs, and you can make sure things are curtailed for you.
Yeah. And guys, thank you for your questions, Johnny. I think that let's wrap up for today. And I just want to announce that we have still questions to and we have still expertise to share with you. And we agreed that with Johnny that we will think of the format which we can do for the next meeting. Then maybe we will go deeply and then research California and show you what you can do
Mm-hmm.
in your local markets, market by market. We will see what we can get for you, and as well the next week in the end of the next week, if you're going to ACA conference in Las Vegas, we can meet you there. I'll be there for the whole week, and Johnny as well will be joining this event, so we'll have a chance to speak to you offline. And what else we have with this HVAC marketing school and this HVAC marketing meetings? We have still, not still. We have other topics to share with you in our next episode. So we will send you this information. The next topics will be about the Google My Business profile, the Google advertising. What we were speaking a little bit today, and then back to Yelp, and how to build all this system together that you definitely have a profitable and growing and scalable and sellable business. And sometime you can reach that HVAC American dream and hit the 8 figures in revenue and even go beyond. And if you have any questions about Yelp, if you want to analyze your account, if you want us and Johnny together analyze your account and get back to you with the numbers, with opportunities, just go ahead, feel free. We'll do it for free with no obligations. You just will receive a lot of really insightful and interesting information about your profile and your market. So yeah, we're waiting for just reach out and we will organize that. And I
Yep.
want to thank Johnny Walker again from Yelp. And Johnny, thank you for joining this webinar. Thank you for sharing all the expertise and numbers with us. And thank you guys for the participation. Hey, Robin, yeah, just um, we'll get back to those questions as well. We talked a bit about reviews. Anyway, yeah, if you have any more questions, as I said before, just reach out to us, and we will analyze everything what you want, what you have, all the questions. We'll answer all your questions there directly, and we'll speak to you and present everything what we can share. That's it. Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for participating. Thank you for being very active. Thank you
Yes.
for you being spending your time with us and being very active and for your questions. And we see you in the next episodes, and we see you around in Las Vegas next week.
Right.
Bye.